My name is Zach Garriss. I'm the lead writer at Deck9 Games working on Life is Strange Before the Storm.
Zach, what are you showing here with Life is Strange at Comic-Con?
We're showing an opening scene of the game. We're introducing this particularly pivotal moment where Chloe kind of first meets Rachel Amber.
So for people who don't know what the second game is about, kind of give a brief description about where the story takes place after the first game.
Yeah, right. So Before the Storm actually takes place 3 years before the events of the first Life is Strange. So you're stepping into Chloe Price's shoes at 16 years old. It's a couple years after Williams died, her father. It's a couple years after Max has left. Chloe's alienated, she's alone, and she's about to meet this kind of mythic character from the first game, Rachel Amber. And the story really explores what it's like for the two of them at this particular chapter in their lives, kind of meeting each other and developing that relationship.
What does having a prequel to Life is Strange open up creatively as a writer?
Oh, well, the bar is incredibly high. I think what DONTNOD accomplished with the first game is astonishing. So getting to work within that franchise, getting to write in Arcadia Bay and explore the characters that fans have really fallen in love with, but going back in time, kind of looking at a different moment in their lives, an earlier moment, it's been an incredible joy, yeah.
Can you talk about your writing process? What kind of mindset do you get in when you're writing dialogue and story elements for this game?
Well, I think it's important to note, I'm the lead writer, but I work with a team of writers. So there are 2 men, 2 women, and we really collaborate and lean on each other in the writer's room to kind of discover the different facets of Arcadia Bay that we want to explore with the story. Because Life is Strange focuses on sort of real people, broken people. We're not afraid of examining flaws. We're not afraid of telling a smaller story, a more intimate story, and kind of finding the elements of that that are compelling, that are dramatic, that we think fans really resonated with in the first game.
So what are some of the challenges between writing for a video game as opposed to a teleplay or even a feature film?
Oh, that's a good question. I think part of the art of writing a cinematic script is often finding within the arc of a given scene kind of the best idea for what that scene could be like, the best moment, the best interaction, the best dialogue. Interactive narrative is built upon branching structures, so you have to kind of court multiple bests. You have to find the thing you really like, and maybe that's the best version, but then have an open mind and think about, well, if the player in their agency wants to do something different, they want to try a different tack, they want to say a different phrase, how can we make equally compelling content that rewards that choice? So you really have to think discursively, kind of write in that kind of branching direction. It's really hard.
Some of the Life is Strange is known as one of the best interactive stories that people have ever played through and basically watched. They say that some of the best stories come from personal experiences. Do you and your team have any personal experiences that made its way into the game? Tragedy, accomplishments, anything like that?
Yeah, absolutely. Part of what we're exploring in Before the Storm with Chloe at this time in her life is what it's like to grieve, what it's like to kind of be haunted by a loss. And there's something, I think, simultaneously personal about grief and unique. No 2 experiences are necessarily the same, but also universal. We all go through it. So I think every writer in the room has experienced one or more forms of loss that we've shared about and channeled into the story. But on another level, I mean, we're kind of looking at grief to look at grief, but we're also using grief and how you're imprisoned by it as a metaphor for just what it's like to be 16 years old, right? When you can't control so many aspects of your life or even yourself. And I think we've all been through that.
How unexpected was it that the first game took out with such a fan following?
I don't know that anyone involved with the first game ever expected the community to explode as much as it did, to love what DONTNOD made as much as they do. The guys at DONTNOD they're incredible, and they're really humble guys, and I think they were just focusing on making something that they loved. And the community just kind of responded to that honesty, that passion.
Were you did anything open up for you more creatively with the prequel? After making such a successful game, did you have more freedom?
Oh, so I want to point out, I wasn't involved in the design or writing of the first game, so I can't speak to kind of a difference of freedom.
So where would you like to see Life is Strange go next?
I think anywhere it wants to. I think anywhere the fans want to. I think what DONTNOD has done with the first game, they really performed a certain kind of amazing courage in telling the stories they're telling, in tackling socially conscious issues, in tackling serious issues. and making a game that's funny and sad and thoughtful and weird and exciting all at one time. And I think if we're following in those footsteps and we're being courageous in the kind of stories we want to tell within those spaces, we'll go anywhere that kind of passion can take us.
When does the game come out, and what platforms will it be on?
So we're releasing our first episode. It's a 3-episode game. We're releasing our first episode August 31st on Xbox One, PS4, and PC.